So the day after we volunteered, we got our orders to go to Vietnam. And each of us went to a different place. I was assigned to the 3rd Field Hospital in Saigon. And I do remember landing. There was a plane full of soldiers, many young guys, and there were probably 3 or 4 nurses on board. And when we landed at Tan Son Nhut Airport, which was about 1.5 miles away from 3rd Field, they were firing on us. And that, I thought, oh, you know, what have I gotten myself into? And that was a real sobering moment for all of us. Everyone was in a really jovial mood before then, but as soon as we started landing and they were shooting on us, reality set in very quickly. And we landed and got out of the plane and into the Jeep. I found out later on that I happened to replace a nurse who died in a helicopter crash just before I came. I don't know the circumstances of that, but that was another sobering feeling. The second 6 months that I was there, I was in the intensive care and recovery room, and that was separated by a nurse's station. So on one side was intensive care, and on the other side was recovery room. One of the hardest parts of being in the intensive care recovery room was on one side with the recovery room, when there were no patients recovering from surgery, we very often had a number of neurological wounded patients who didn't appear as though they were wounded at all. The gunshot wounds were in the back of their area that we couldn't see, but they looked healthy, and they were young, and they were tan, and they were my age, and they were about to die. Initially, I was exposed to something that I had not experienced before, and I remember just breaking down, crying and sobbing. And one day this chaplain happened to be in the intensive care unit, and he said to me, "Lieutenant," he just grabbed me and took me out. He said, you cannot behave this way. You need to function. You need to be able to give nursing care and be supportive, and you're a link to home to these young men. You just absolutely cannot. You cannot break down and do that." And I didn't, but it was it was hard. I draw on my Vietnam experience because knowing that I got through that would help me to get through anything else, and it has. And I really believe that no experience, particularly painful ones, should be wasted.